The Cult have got a new single out at the moment called Firewoman, so we caught up with Billy and Ian from the band to find out what they've been up to recently.
One of the things about going on the road is again, it's such an extreme. A lot of things went down in 1987. It was our first major world tour. So we went in there bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, never done a world tour before. We didn't even know we were going to do a world tour. We didn't know how to pace ourselves. There were incidents that occurred, arrests, you know, riots at some concerts, mainly centred around me, you know.
Trashing of gear.
The Australian experience, I mean, we did Australia at the end of the year before we came back to Britain, and that was quite well documented. They thought we were like the new Sex Pistols when we got there. We were just so drained and burnt, we didn't care what people thought about us. We were just like obnoxious people. We'd had enough, basically, you know. Getting on stage was a hell of a job to do, you know. And also we were playing bars in Australia, and we're like really kind of very heavy environments. Everybody in there was drunk. Very dingy lit places, damp places. We just come off the back of them. The last place we hit before we went to Australia was like Hawaii. Played the Sheraton Hotel National Ballroom in front of like 7,000 screaming kids. And then we got to Australia, and it was more like going to, you know, playing working men's clubs, pretty much where we basically started out from 6 years ago. So it was a major culture shock, you know. And also inside of the group, we had a problem with the drummer in the sense that we felt we were carrying him as we were growing, developing as you know, players. He was basically more interested in the lifestyle than developing his art. You know, the sad thing is he's a beautiful guy, you know, and we were great friends, and you know, there's still a friendship there. But we basically had to part company. You know, the most important thing of the Cult is the songs, and for those to survive, we have to have the right personnel, you know. And also we lost our management as well. Mismanagement in America. That caused a lot of problems. Pretty nomadic. I mean, we pretty much live out of a suitcase, you know. We're constantly traveling. You know, we're not really based, we're actually based business-wise in Los Angeles. It's not some great exodus to America, you know, like goodbye Britain, we're going to America kind of thing. We've all got homes here, you know. Britain produces great individuals, great characters, but essentially everybody must go to America at some point in their career. It's the ultimate challenge. You know, you go there because you're British and you want to challenge America and then come home and say, we did it kind of thing. I don't know, it's like one of those traditional things that's been going on for like 30 years, the transatlantic trip, you know. Everybody's done it, you know. From the Beatles going out there, that was it. As soon as the Beatles did it, everyone's done it since then, you know. And who wants to constantly tour, you know, Britain for the rest of your life? It's the challenge. There's new levels to reach, you know. There was a riot, you know. We were in a building in front of like 5,000 people in Vancouver. The security guys were basically hired hands from the local university with like the jocks, you know, sort of all the athletes and the American football players, basically with little suits on, little yellow shirts on to signify the security guys, you know. And they basically overreacted to the situation. You know, our audience are very vociferous. They really express the fact they're having a good time. They don't just sit there and go, yes, you know, in between each song. And they overreacted, you know, and we were on form that evening as well, and we were cranking out the sounds. And at one point, I've seen things like some young girl got a shirt ripped off, got her hair pulled by a security guy, another guy got punched in the face. This went on all night, and I was just getting really annoyed by it. And eventually, like, you know, maybe 200 or 300 kids got up on stage. The barriers came down, everything was crashed. I ended up getting knocked on the floor. I was lying on my back, people were trampling over me. The band left the stage, things were getting smashed to smithereens. Security guys come running across the stage, grabbed all of this kid, started beating him around the head. I thought, you know, to hell with this. I ran over, tried to get them off this guy, pushed the security guy out of the way. He went flying off the stage. Next thing I knew, he was being pulled out by my guy. Next thing I know, I'm in the dressing room. 5 minutes later, off to jail. You know, 10 hours in jail. Victim of circumstance. I'm the victim of circumstance. That's it, you see.
The Cult, could this mean a change of direction? The new LP, Sonic Temple, produced by Aerosmith, and Bon Jovi's studio producer, Rob Rock. Watch out for that one in the stores. We thought it was timely to play.